Hello again, guys. Hello,
Hello,
Gabriel.
teacher. How are you?
Hello, teacher.
How about
Hello,
yourself?
teacher.
Hello, Carol.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Good. How about
Oops.
yourself?
I am fine, and you?
I was so happy here. Now I'm not happy anymore, Carol.
Wow, teacher. I am in
Ah!
pajamas.
PJs. That's the most common
PJs.
outfit. That's the most common
Yeah,
outfit during the quarantine. Okay. Yes.
yeah.
I only wear clothes from the waist above. Below, I'm not going to show anyone. All right.
I understand.
Yeah, so I only need to show the upper part. That's okay. The rest is not important. Regina, how are you, Regina? Good?
I'm fine, teacher. And you?
I'm very well. Thanks for asking, Regina. You got yourself some new microphone, huh? You're well equipped.
Thank you.
All right. Erica, are you okay?
Yes, I'm still okay.
Okay, that's good to know. Gabriel,
Always good, teacher.
I
Always
don't
good.
think you are so good. You're not eating.
Not yet.
Ah, okay, okay.
Ah.
You usually eat all the time. Alexandro, how are you, sir?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay, good. Good to know. Dirce, are you okay?
Yes, I am. And you?
I'm all
Thanks.
right. Thanks for asking. Raquel, how are you?
Hi, teacher. I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, glad to hear that. Mario has a problem with his microphone. He told me today. That's why he's always quiet.
Look the
Yeah.
food.
Yeah. Gabriel is already eating. Oh my gosh. You
Yes,
guys,
teacher.
oh, come on, man. I haven't eaten yet. Okay, not even lunch today. So give me a break, huh?
Teacher, you shouldn't eat that late at night. It's
Ah,
not healthy.
tell my wife about that, you know? Okay. Anyway, well, practically everyone is here. Ah, Oscar is here. I was missing him.
Yeah,
How are you, Oscar?
I'm fine. And you, Roberto?
I'm all right. Thanks for asking. So,
Okay, great.
I think yesterday we finished our class concerning natural disasters. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Today we are going to change topics completely. Okay. We'll go into business reading. I found something that I don't know. I thought it would be important for you to understand a little bit. Okay, because the United States has already had big problems that, of course, ended up influencing our economy. And once again, they're going back into the subprime loans. So I thought it would be important for you to understand these, okay? Because they might be creating a new economic bubble, okay? So let's see. Let me share my screen so we can talk about this new topic, okay? It's a business article. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes.
So, oh, the headline of it is neither a borrower nor a lender be. Can you understand this? Brazilians have a lot of problem to understand borrow and lend because in Portuguese there is only one verb to say that, but in English you have two verbs. So neither a borrower nor a lender be. Can you understand the headline or no?
No, teacher, I
No.
don't know these words.
Okay.
Only neither.
Me too.
Okay. So in English we have the verb to borrow and we have the verb borrow, Robert, to lend. Okay?
So I know these words. Sorry.
Exactly. So to borrow and to lend. Like if you don't have something and ask to another person. You are a borrower. Okay? So, for instance, in a typical face-to-face classroom, sometimes your pencil breaks or your pen stops writing. Then you ask a friend, can I borrow a pen? Can I borrow a pencil? Right?
Yeah.
Can I borrow? Okay? So lend is if you give something to someone with, of course, the condition of getting it back. That is always a condition. You are a lender. Okay? So the problem is that many times we borrow things from other people, but we never give back. Understand? Or sometimes we borrow money from a bank, but we cannot pay back. Understand? So there
It's a
is,
problem.
yes, there is an English proverb that says, neither a borrower nor a lender be. That means don't be a borrower nor a lender. That's the idea. Okay? Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like don't lend nor borrow anything. That's the idea. Okay? So in English, again, I say, can I borrow, for example, a pen from you? That's one way. Or I can also say, can you lend me a pen? It's exactly the same. But since in Portuguese, we only have one verb to say this, we often get confused, right? Understand what I'm trying to say? This, Erica, Carol,
Yes, I
Regina.
can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Gabriel,
Yes, sir.
Gloria.
Yes.
Okay. There is a, okay. Alexandra, understand this? Nicholas,
Yes.
Raquel, no problem.
No problem.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes, ask me, please.
When they say borrow, I don't expect something is give me back.
Of course you expect. If you are borrowing, you have to return. And if you're lending it, you want it back, of course. I'm not
Okay,
giving.
okay. No,
I'm
okay,
just
now I
lending.
understand it.
Okay?
Yeah, okay, okay.
For instance, Raquel, let's suppose that you combine with a friend to go to the movies, right?
Yes.
And then when you get to the theater, your friend says, oh, Raquel, I don't have any money for the tickets. Can you lend me? Sure, I can lend you. So if you lend him, of course, you expect him to pay you back. Understand?
Yes.
But of course, if you say, don't worry, money is not a problem for me, I'll pay for you. That's okay. So I don't need to pay back. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because you are paying, you're not lending me. Okay?
Okay.
That's what Brazilians have to remember. If you borrow something, you have to give it back. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, most of the time we forget that. Okay? So this is a reading, intermediate level, business English. Okay? So pay attention here, please. Read through the text below and answer the questions that follow. So let me see who is the first one here on my list. Erica, can you read this introduction for us, please?
Yes. Neither a borrower nor a lender be. Both borrowers and lenders in the subprime mortgage market are wishing they had listened to the old saying, neither a borrower nor a lender be.
I love that, neither.
I forgot and say neither.
That is perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay. That's British English, okay? So I have been to England many times. I've heard lots of neithers and eithers in my life. So that doesn't affect me anymore. Only the first time I was, what? Okay. So any question about this?
No.
Remember, this is a business article, so there are going to be some expressions here used in business. And in this case,
Teacher.
we will be talking about mortgage, subprime mortgages.
What is mortgage?
Mortgage, you don't pronounce the T, mortgage.
Mortgage. Sorry.
Okay, that's very easy to explain. When you buy a house, okay, if you have all the money to pay for the house, you just give the money and the house is yours, right? But 90% of the times, people that buy houses or apartments, they don't have all the money. So they have part of the money that they give as a down payment, and the rest they get from a bank. This money, this financing from a bank, receives the name of mortgage. Why mortgage? Because if you don't pay your mortgage, you lose your house. The bank takes your house. Understand? This is very common, right, Carol?
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world, okay? You don't pay your mortgage, they take your house away. What happened in the United States a few years ago, I think was in 2008, is that they created a bubble in the market because in Brazil, when you mortgage a house, that house theoretically belongs to the bank until you pay it off. When you finish paying, the house is yours. All right? But
Right,
you know what the Americans used to do in the United States? Do you have any idea how that big, huge bubble was created?
Also.
No.
Does anyone remember? It is very common to listen to this in movies. Like, I have 3 mortgages to pay, 4 mortgages to pay. Never heard this?
Yes, I heard.
Yes.
I know
So can
about
you
the
imagine?
bubble, but I don't know how it started.
Yes, that is something that in Brazil probably would never happen. Because once your house is mortgaged to a bank, you cannot mortgage again in another bank because they will check the deeds, they will check the documents. But in the United States, no. You could mortgage your house in bank A. 1 week later, you needed more money, you would mortgage in bank B, and then you would mortgage in bank C, in bank D, in bank E. Some people had 5 mortgages in the same house. So when they were not able to pay, what happened? 5 mortgage would raise the price of the house like to $5 million. But there was only 1 house and 5 mortgages. So they could not break up the house in parts to give to the banks, understand?
Yeah, Roberto, in Brazil, the banks check the real rate credit the people have. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Understand? That's why I told you in Brazil, this will never happen. Understand?
Yeah.
There is an interesting film that explained this bubble in 2018.
Yes,
I think it's in The Morning Call.
Yes.
It's interesting. It's difficult, but interesting.
Yes.
I think I have seen this movie. Yes.
Yeah.
That is a good movie.
That's the Big Short.
It's funny. It's funny because it's such a silly mistake. Like, so simple to not do.
Yes, but
Yeah.
that is kind of easy in Brazil because the banks are large banks with branches all over Brazil.
Yeah.
As our economics, wealth, I don't know how to say it, our financial minister said 6 banks control like 200 million people. In the United
Yeah.
States, no, you have a lot of local banks, understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was no contact between them. Understand? So every time the guy needed money, he would mortgage the house in a different bank. And the banks would accept the mortgage. Understand? So when I was not able to pay 1 mortgage, I would end up not paying a 2nd mortgage, a 3rd mortgage. And then all the banks wanted my house. And then they realized the house had been mortgaged to 5 different banks. But that was too late. Understand?
Yeah.
So they created a huge bubble. Okay. Now,
In United States, that time, some important banks broke.
Yes, of course.
Broke.
A lot of, many banks broke.
Many banks broke.
Many banks, yes. And do you know or do you remember why they didn't care about the mortgage? Because they would always sell this to another bank. Understand? I would, for example, give Gabriel the money for his house. I would receive a mortgage. And then I would sell this mortgage to a bigger bank. And banks would buy the mortgage from other banks, understand? And then they always accepted, because they would accept a mortgage for like $1 million, sell it for 800,000 and receive 800,000. It was better than wait 25 years to receive $1 million, understand? But then the big banks had a lot of mortgages, and then no houses to, let's say, to fit with all the mortgages, okay?
Yeah.
Now, in this first paragraph, it's very short, but there is a very important expression here. Subprime mortgage market. Subprime mortgage. Do you guys understand these? Do you know what is a subprime or a prime mortgage?
No.
No.
Okay, let's analyze a situation here. Okay, Oscar, you
Yeah.
are my example, okay? I had you in mind. So, Oscar and I go to the bank, same day, same time, with different managers to talk about buying a house, understand? So they will analyze the ratings of Oscar, the credit ratings, and the credit rating of Roberto. Oscar is an engineer, a successful engineer. Roberto is just a teacher, right? So what happens? The conditions that they are going to offer Oscar, do you think are the same conditions they are going to offer me?
No.
No.
Probably Oscar will be able to get the house without a down payment, understand?
Yes.
And will get an interest rate much lower than my rate. The bank will ask me for a down payment like 10, 20, 15%. And my interest rate is going to be higher than Oscar. You can say, but why? Because Oscar is a prime mortgage. I am a subprime mortgage. Understand?
Yes.
So 90% of the problems happen in the subprime market. Understand?
Roberto, its idea is that the risk, the business, yeah?
Of course, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
The interest rate depends on the risk.
Okay.
Understand?
Okay.
I don't have like a good, let's say, financial situation to buy a house, but I want to buy a house. You want to invest in another house. You see, that's the difference. I need a house to live. You are investing your money. Okay? So you will get special, let's say, benefits or privileges as a prime mortgage.
Okay.
And I will not get the same as a subprime. So 99.99% of all the problems that they had in the United States in 2008 concerned subprime mortgages. Understand? Okay?
Okay.
The subprime, because the height risk.
Exactly, Oscar.
Yeah.
Very high risk.
Very high risk.
I read a lot of articles after the 2008 bubble, and it's funny. They wanted to sell. They were not even look at the risk. They only wanted to sell, get your paper signed, and then banks would resell your mortgage to other banks and receive the money. And then they started selling houses worth like $1 million to gardeners, you know, to very, let's say, humble workers, okay? Many immigrants, like Mexicans, they would buy a house worth like $500,000. They were sure they would never pay back, but that was not important at the time. What they wanted was to get the signature. And then they would sell these contracts to another bank. Understand?
Okay.
And then the banks in the United States would sell to other banks in Europe or other banks in Iceland. Understand? That's why it was a global thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Sorry to ask, teacher, but our ex-president, I don't know if this is right, said that here in Brazil, we only saw a code in here, Marolinha. Why this?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Because all the presidents of Brazil, unfortunately, the last ones, they surely had a lack of intelligence. Understand?
Yeah.
That's the only possible explanation I can give you, my friend.
Yeah. I agree.
Because they never really thought globally. Understand?
Yeah.
Nothing can be just a little tsunami in Brazil. Okay? It's just like a little flu at the moment. Understand?
Yes.
So it's the same. Okay? I think it's a problem of lack of intelligence,
Yeah.
lack of global vision. Understand?
Because I didn't live this, so I don't know. I only heard about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's hard
Yes.
to me to understand.
Yes. But it hit the entire world. Okay? A lot of banks, as Oscar said, bankrupted. A lot of companies broke. Understand?
Yeah.
The dollar went sky high. Okay? So it was a very bad period. Okay? And now, as far as I have heard, the economy is going to be even more affected than 2008.
Yeah.
Understand? So I don't know. But let's see what happened. Who's going to read now? The first was Gloria? No,
Last year,
Erica.
teacher.
Erica.
Yeah, Erica. Gloria, can you read this part for us, please? Last year?
Last year, people with poor credit ratings
Ratings?
borrowed 605 billion in
Mortgage.
mortgage, a figure that is about 20% of the home loan market.
Home loan market.
What?
Home loan, not loan.
Home loan market.
It
includes people who cannot afford to meet the mortgage payments or expensive homes they have bought, and low-income buyers and some buyers. In some cases, the later code not even meet the first payment. Lenders include banks like HSBC, which may have lost almost $7 billion.
Okay.
Wow.
So we are not talking about little loss. We are talking about huge losses. Understand? But why did they lend the money? That's the first point. Because they wanted to do business. Understand?
Yeah.
It's obvious. They wanted, like the constructors wanted to sell the houses, and they had the banks backing them up with mortgages to people that could not even pay the first payment. Imagine this. This is stupid. In Brazil, they would never get the credit. They would never get the mortgage. Understand?
Yeah.
So if some people probably had like monthly earnings of about $2,000 and they would get a mortgage of $1,500. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Understand?
Should be illegal, right, teacher?
I think, but bankers are greedy. Understand? And they always want more. And they are not thinking like, if they don't pay, I'll get the house because they have the mortgage. Understand?
Roberto, the United States government didn't have a fiscalization about this business, yeah?
I think they still don't have. Can you believe?
Yeah.
Yes.
The problem is this.
Yes. They are only interested in doing businesses.
Yeah.
Understand?
Teacher,
They don't check the rating.
Yes.
teacher, do you believe that the bubble that went in 2008 could happen like next year or 2 years from now?
That is difficult to predict. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I could, probably I would be a billionaire. Understand? Yes.
Yeah,
Because
but
if we take
But
measures.
Roberto, as if a lot of people lose your jobs, it's a
jobs.
problem.
Yes, that is exactly the case.
Yeah.
The market is so unstable. I think there are millions of people that are going to be losing their jobs.
Yeah.
If they lose their jobs, how are they going to pay the mortgage?
Yeah.
Impossible.
Don't have money.
Yes, understand?
In Canada, it's similar, teacher.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
the concept is very
Canada.
common in North
It's
I
the
have
same.
family.
It's the same.
I have
The same
family
model.
in Canada. It's the same.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
same.
Yes.
United
Okay.
States.
So I don't know. We have to wait and see what's going to happen. Maybe more problems ahead. Now, Regina, could you read one part for me, please? Both sides.
Okay. Both sides can be blamed. Blamed. Lenders after the 2 or 3 percentage point premium they could charge offered loans, known as liar's loans.
Liar.
Liar?
Liar.
As liar loans.
Very similar to lawyer, okay? A lawyer, liar. Okay, Carol?
No.
10 years.
Yeah.
Dirce, help me.
Hey, Carol, pay attention, Carol.
Now as lawyer loans with no down payments and without any income verification to people with bad credit histories. They believed that rising house prices would cover them in the event of default. Borrowers ignored the fact that interest rates would rise after an initial period.
Okay, let's understand this. I don't want you to translate and say, I understand. I want you to get the meaning of this paragraph. That's the important thing here, okay? Now, both sides can be blamed, okay? Understand this part?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That means not only the borrowers, but also the lenders. The borrowers for taking the money that they are sure they cannot pay back. And the lenders for giving the money to people that will never pay back. Understand?
Yes.
Any specific expression or vocabulary that you are not sure about?
What's blame?
Blame.
Blame.
I remember that I bought do you know what's a magnet that we put in the refrigerator?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one day I saw one, I bought it, I gave it to my wife, and it says something like this. No problem is big enough that we cannot blame someone else for doing it.
That's awful.
Okay? What is the idea, blame? Blame is when you transfer the responsibility to another person. Like, oh, don't blame me. It's not my fault. Okay? So it's his problem. Okay?
So, teacher, is the same in the guilty?
Yes, it's not the same of guilty. Guilty is a noun. Blame is a verb.
Okay.
Okay? Like, if something goes wrong, don't blame me for that. Okay? I did what I could. Okay?
I understand.
So no problem is big enough that we cannot blame someone else for doing it. Understand? Like
Okay.
when
Okay,
something
okay.
goes wrong, just say, it wasn't me, it was him. Understand? Transfer the blame. Another question, Oscar, or anyone else? There are
The
many.
bank did that to the people. It wasn't my fault that you couldn't pay.
Yes, exactly. Okay. You lost your job. That's not my problem. Okay. Any question, Camila, Vanessa? Vanessa is quiet
No.
today. I think she's,
No doubts.
her microphone is not good again because I haven't
No,
heard
it's
her voice.
okay.
Ah, is it okay? You're alive.
Yes.
Good. Any question, Vanessa, Fernando, Nicholas? No problem.
Yes, Humberto, I have a question. What's meaning of liar laws?
A loan is like the money that you got from a bank. It's a loan. Understand?
Mhm.
Liar means it's not real. It's a lie. Understand? Lie?
No.
When you don't tell the truth.
Okay.
Understand?
Okay.
Okay. Like a liar loan is a false credit. Understand? It's not a real one. It's a liar loan. Okay. Another question about this? Fernando, Nicholas, Vanessa, Raquel. There are so many people.
I have a question. Billions don't go to plural?
Billions.
Yeah. It's
Well-
just billion. It's not billions.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never seen this in my account. So I get my first billion. I will see if it's possible to get 2 billions. Understand? I think it is possible to be used in the plural. Understand? But here, as we have already seen, you see, last year people with poor credit ratings borrowed 605 billion in mortgage. So this is used to modify in mortgage. So adjectives have no plural. Understand?
Okay.
But if I stopped here, borrowed 605 billions and stop the sentence. But
Yeah,
it's billion in mortgages, okay?
Because they are in the end of the line, lost almost 7 billion.
Yes, but I can use it in the plural, that's for sure, okay?
Okay, okay.
Yeah, there is a TV series, I think it's called Billion or Billions, I'm not sure. But it's very good, all right? But I'll check that for you, but since I've never got even to 1 million, I don't know if it's possible, okay?
Okay.
I'll ask the guy from Amazon, he understands, okay?
Yeah, he definitely does.
Yes. Yeah, I read an article that probably he's going to be the first trillionaire alive, understand? By the age of 62 years old, if his fortune keeps increasing the way it is now, he's going to be not a billionaire, but a trillionaire, the first one, okay?
Incredible.
Yes. Now, Oscar, can you read one part for us? One result is that the full...
Okay. One result is that the default rates on these subprime mortgages reached 14% last year, a record. The problems in the market also threaten to spread to spread to the rest of the mortgage market, which would reduce the flow of the credit available to the shrinking numbers of customers still interested in buying property.
Okay. Any question about this?
Every question.
What's shrinking?
Yes.
Who is asking me that? Is it Oscar? Or
Yeah.
No?
Yeah,
Oscar.
I don't know too.
That's easy to explain. Did you have the very pleasant experience of washing any Brazilian clothes in a washing machine in Canada? And when it came out, it was much smaller than before going in? Yes or no?
I don't understand your question.
Okay. When you went to Canada, did you take some Brazilian clothes with you, or you just bought everything in Canada?
No. I bring with you.
You brought with you. You brought.
Yeah.
Now, did you get them washed in a washing machine in Canada?
No, it's a problem. It's a problem.
What is the
It's a
problem?
I need to buy another closet because
They
the
shrunk.
Brazilian clothes
Shrink.
yes. Okay.
Okay? They
I
shrink.
understand. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Once I remember I had
Yeah.
a visitor in my house in the United States, a Brazilian guy that traveled to the United States with one pair of jeans. And after wearing the same pair of jeans for 1 week, he asked me if he could get it washed.
Okay.
I said, sure, go ahead. But I forgot to tell him. After
Okay.
washing, he would not even be able to put the pants above the knees.
Yes.
He
Yes.
called me and said, I don't have another pair of jeans.
Yeah.
I said,
It's
what
not
do you want to
child
do?
pet.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you go out and buy me a new pair of jeans? And then I had to go out to buy because he didn't have another pair of jeans to wear. Understand?
I need to lose the weight.
Sometimes, Oscar, even the length, not only the weight, the length shrinks. Understand?
Yeah.
And then your pants are going to be like close to your knees.
Yeah. A new model.
Yes. Okay. Another question besides.
Thank you. I understand now, Shrink. Thank you.
Yes. One other meaning for shrink that has nothing to do with the real meaning of shrink. A psychiatrist or a psychologist is also called a shrink. Don't ask me why. That's not mine. In movies, you always listen to people say, you got to see a shrink. Okay? That's a psychologist or psychiatrist. Okay? They used to refer to mental doctors. Understand?
Okay.
Who was the girl? I don't remember because there are so many beautiful girls in my class that I get confused. But who was the girl that asked me about billions?
Raquel.
Oh, Raquel. Okay, good. Raquel, you can use both. You can say billion or billions. It's the same. You can say how many billion does Jeff Bezos have or how many billions. Okay? It's the same. The word accepts plural, but you can also use it in the singular with the same idea. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay. Carol, can you read one part for us here?
Yes. One result is that the fall rates.
No, it's
on
the
this-
next, I think. It's the
Sorry.
next. So the housing market.
So the housing market will remain weak. Borrowers with weak credit histories will find the credit window closed. People with adjustable rate mortgages will have to spend less so they can meet their increased payments. Tighter lending, tighter lending standards and falling home prices will reduce customers' ability. Consumers' ability to tap the equity in their homes.
Okay. Now, you see, they're trying to regulate the market now. Okay? The housing market will remain weak. But if you pay, nobody asked me, maybe it's because in Brazil, this is a pretty standard rate. But in the previous paragraph, the subprime mortgages, they were charging 14% interest per year. You can say, this is normal in Brazil for the prime mortgages. But do you know what a prime mortgage would ask as an interest per year in the United States?
No.
Between 2 and 3%.
Ooh.
Per year.
Yeah.
And the subprimes, the poor people with bad records, they were asking 14.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
So, see, if you observe this paragraph, you can see that they are trying to regulate the market. The housing market will remain weak. Borrowers with weak credit history will find the credit window closed. That means it's not going to be so easy to get a new mortgage. People with adjustable rate mortgage, that's another problem for prime mortgage. They adjust the interest rate during the contract. Understand? Like 5 years is 10%, 5 years, 12%, 5 years, 14%. They can even go up. So what happens? If people can pay every year, they will pay more, but they will earn it the same. So they need to save money, or they will not be able to meet the payments. Understand? And
Yes.
the price of houses falling because of the economic crisis, understand? The value of the house is not going. You, for example, you took out a mortgage loan for 1 million, but now your house is worth $800,000. So many people are not going to pay a million, understand? The house is not worth it. Okay?
Okay.
Any question about this part or no?
What mean the word tighter? Tighter.
Yeah.
Tighter.
Tighter. I don't know.
Tighter.
Tighter.
Yeah.
Oh, Oscar, what size of shoes do you wear?
43.
Okay. What if your son decides to give you a gift and buy a pair of shoes size 41? Is it going to fit you?
No, I need to change.
Yeah, but you can't change it. It was a special promotion. So if you put your feet inside,
Not for shoes, teacher.
is it going to be comfortable?
Yes.
No, of course no.
It's going to be tight, right?
Yeah.
So tighter is the comparative, okay? It's going to get tighter, more strict, tighter.
Okay.
Understand?
Okay.
Okay.
Understand
Another
now.
question or no?
Okay.
No questions?
No.
It's okay.
Okay. Vanessa, are you in a car feeling a little dizzy, or you are okay at home and you think you can read for us?
Okay, I'm lost in what part?
But as long as
the labor market remains strong, it has done despite job losses in house-related industries, and as long as real incomes continue to go up, consumers might complain, but they are unlikely to go on a buyer's strike on a scale that will make this slowdown become a recession. Therefore, we should not be too worried, but at the same time, we should be a bit cautious and watch closely how things develop.
Cautious.
Cautious.
Okay. Any question about this part or no question? Any question about this part or no question?
No.
It's okay.
It's depressed, teacher.
It's depressing. Yes.
Very depressing.
Oh, Gloria, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Every day when I look up for something, I'm always looking for something very optimistic. But it's getting more and more difficult to find. Understand?
Yeah.
Every time I open the CNN, I open Brussels Times, Financial Times, Daily Telegraph, only bad news. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, it's getting more and more difficult to select an article. So this, I thought, at least would change the topic. No coronavirus. Understand? no
Yeah, me
social
too.
distancing.
I
Yeah.
never go
nowadays
to buy a house in USA.
Yeah, no.
Never.
Well, you see, I don't think the window has been completely closed. Understand? If you have 20% to give as a down payment, I'm sure you can find a house. I'm sure. Okay? And I can tell you, they are not going to give you a 25-year mortgage because you are not going to live permanently there. But you can get a 15-year mortgage, that's for sure. Okay?
Why do people prefer buy a house or otherwise rent a house? It's the same situation in Brazil. It's a dream because these people prefer buy or no.
Well, it's Nicholas, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's just a matter of people dream, understand? Like, I want to have my own house, even if they cannot afford it. If the banks give you the money, probably you will buy it.
Yeah.
Okay. In Brazil, not everyone has a house because it's difficult to get access to the money. Understand? But
Yeah,
if access was easy, everybody would obviously buy a house. Because renting a house, sometimes the rent is the price or the value of the mortgage. Understand?
Yes.
Yeah, in general, for rent a house in USA, it's so expensive, no?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The mortgage would be pretty much the same. Imagine you're going to rent an apartment in New York. You cannot get an apartment in New York in a good neighborhood for less than 1,500 or 2,000 a month.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yes, and then you check with the bank. They tell you they can mortgage you. They can lend you the money to buy that apartment or that house without a down payment, which is usually 20%, and you can pay back in 20 years. Then you stop to think, well, the mortgage is 1,500. The rent is 1,500. I'll pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah, of course.
And then you take a chance. After 6 months, you lose your job, you lose your house.
Yeah.
But if you are renting and you don't pay the rent, you are also evicted. Understand? They ask you to leave the house the same way. So people take a chance.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Thank you.
Now, let's see if you understood. The subprime mortgage loans were offered to whom? Only to low-income families, to people who wanted, I'm sorry, is to buy, I forgot the U, very expensive houses, or to people with poor credit histories?
People with poor credit histories.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay? Even people that had a very bad credit history, they would get a subprime mortgage. Now, who believed the rising house prices would cover them in the event of a default? Okay, like people were not able to pay. Who believed?
Lenders.
Yes, the
Lenders.
people that were given the money. Very good, Gloria. Not the people that lenders. Borrowers have been caught out. Borrowers have been caught out
You can up
because
your
they
screen.
lied when. Yes, Gloria, what's your question?
No, you do. You do. Up the
Gloria?
screen, teacher. Oh,
Ah, yes, I was
yes.
trying to move
I
it
don't,
up. Yes.
I don't can read.
Yeah, borrowers
can't
have
read.
been caught out because they lied when applied for the loan, because house prices have risen, not risen, risen, because interest rates rise after a while. What was the biggest problem for the borrowers?
I think it's the first one.
My opinion, the first one, because interest rate rise after a while.
Me too, the third,
Okay, Carol and Dirce are saying the third. Oscar think is the first. Do you think it was necessary for them to lie when applying for the loan, Oscar?
The loan, I think they lie about your salary or
Income.
Your income, yeah, his income.
Yeah, but there is no verification, Oscar. So
Yes.
it's not even necessary to lie. They don't check.
Yeah.
Understand? The problem.
The people lie because the banks don't verification. Yeah.
They don't verify.
They don't verify.
Yeah, but this is not why they got caught up. Or they got caught out because what happened? The first year they could afford, the second year they could afford, but then the interest gradually increased. Understand?
Okay.
So the correct answer is number
understand
three,
now.
the third one.
Understand now.
Because the interest rates rise, and then they couldn't pay anymore.
Okay.
Understand?
Yeah, because they were risky.
Yeah,
Yes.
I understand now.
According to the text, people with adjustable rate mortgage will not be able to get credit, will have to economize, or have weak credit histories.
Have weak credit history.
I forgot the question.
You have to economize.
According to the text, people with adjustable rate, how will they be able to pay off when the rate increases?
B.
Will
second
I think
C.
C.
We'll have to economize.
I think
Economize.
have to economize.
Economize.
That's the only way they can pay back the bank. If they don't save money, they won't be able. Understand? Because the payments, the monthly payments will increase. Understand?
Yes.
Okay, one more. We have already run out of time, but the last one you do, okay. Number 5. The housing market problems could easily tip the country in recession, are unlikely to tip the country into a recession, will cause a buyer's strike.
In my
According
opinion,
to
the best answer is second.
Your opinion is absolutely correct, it is. They are unlikely to drive the country into a recession because the market, the labor market is good, okay? Number 6, you think about a home, tomorrow we'll check. All right, guys?
Okay.
Thank you very much for watching my class. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Have a great evening. Bye,
You too,
all.
Roberto.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Regine.
Bye.